we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community and try to live a more sustainable life. So we're back for another week. This week we're going to do a tour of the land.
So this week in Escape to El Campo, the kids have started school. So they started school last Tuesday, and we thought we were going to have a bit of a struggle with them and a bit of a fight, but as it turns out they've had a fantastic time, as they're very apprehensive to go to school, obviously not speaking a lot of Spanish. Going into 100% Spanish classroom has been difficult. However, the school have bent over backwards for them and supplied additional Spanish lessons for them. And at the end of the day, they've come out and they've been absolutely buzzing, which has been amazing.
Yeah, I think it helps as well that they've both immediately made friends. As we suspected, being the two English kids going into a new school, there were a bit of a curiosity and everyone sort of wanted to get to know them and talk to them and find out about them, but genuinely they seem to have both actually made some real friends. That Zane particularly has made some friends that speak English as well, a little bit, so they've been helping him out with his classes, and one of Scarlett's friends, she talks a little bit of English as well, so it's made them feel a bit more comfortable immediately. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how well they seem to be getting on already, in all fairness. I mean, they didn't go to school for 7 months when we were living in the motorhome. We were homeschooling them because we were doing so much travelling, which, I mean, whilst we are both strict parents and we do encourage them to do everything, I guess it being in the motorhome and sometimes working outside in the sunshine was a lot more of a relaxed environment than school. So yeah, we expected a big kickback from them, but have been really, really pleasantly surprised. So thumbs up from us, well done kids, we're proud of you.
So what else have we been up to? On Friday, I think it was, we were just wrapping up working in the garden on our compost bins that we'd partially finished, and our neighbour walked up from the local village and waved us across, so we dutifully wandered across and to have a word with them, or Emma had a word with them and I just stood there gormlessly. We got invited down to their house because they wanted to show us their garden. We ended up spending a few hours down there and having a beer, being shown around the garden, and we came away with a bag full of walnuts, a bag full of tomatoes,
2 dozen eggs.
Yes, 24 eggs. And subsequently we've also had delivered a massive box of potatoes and also a massive box of apples and peaches, which they've delivered up to us. So the generosity of the locals is absolutely unbelievable. And to invite two complete strangers plus Zane into their house to introduce them to their extended family was lovely, and it was a lovely evening to spend with the neighbours and some locals. We really felt as if we were part of the community. It was really, really nice, really nice.
Very warm welcome that we've received.
This morning we went to the local market in town. So the market's on twice a month, and today happened to be the day of the market. We went straight after dropping the kids off because we've been told that the market starts at 9 and finishes at 2. So we went straight there from dropping the kids off. So we were there for about 10 to 9. And the place was almost deserted. Nobody was, well, they were setting up, but people were just coming along and getting their stalls out and setting up. And yeah, well, it was a bit of a disappointment really. We were both looking forward to go to the market, to have a look at the local market. But because we were early and everybody was so late setting up, we feel as if we've missed it, because I had to get back for a Spanish lesson and then I had some work to do. So
yeah, we've also let Zane down big time, because when we went to Mar Menor, southern Spain, as part of our travelling, we went to a local market there, and I decided to have a look at the olive stall and taste some of the delicious olives that were on display. And I think it was about €35 later, I'd basically bought a load of different types of olives in the biggest punnets that took us absolutely forever to eat. And Zayn was really looking forward to us going back to a market and buying some more olives, and there wasn't any. So yeah, he was a bit disappointed after school.
Sad times, no olives.
No olives. But they were selling pigs and rabbits.
Yeah, pigs and rabbits, they were there for sale.
Live pigs and rabbits.
Yeah, we didn't have a collar and lead to bring a pig home, so we didn't buy one.
Not this time, maybe next time.
So along with some other bits of work we've been doing around the place this week, that's a pretty quick recap of the week, what we've been up to this week. So we'll crack on with the tour of the garden and the woodland and the place, the field that we're hoping to turn into a productive piece of land.
To the right hand side we have some apple trees, and we have just discovered actually that these two apple trees here, if I can capture it, are in fact fused together. But yeah, we can't really work out where the join is and where they're fused together or how, but yeah, two apple trees, and they are delicious apples, I have to say. So there's our beautiful house, our beautiful home, and the other side of the drive we also have got some small pear trees that are producing fruit, very delicious pears, and another apple tree. They're starting to go over now, some of these apples on here, but again, absolutely delicious. So we'll take you over to this field where this is where we want to grow all of our food eventually. The green area to the left there, we don't own that. We're not really sure who does, but that's not ours. And then all of this overgrown madness here, this is ours. And then the border is where it turns into the brown fields over there. So this land here is approximately an acre. And when we came to look at the house in May last year, 2022, this it was all ploughed because they were renting it out to a local farmer, and I think he was growing wheat or something on here. So obviously since we've put the offer in on the house and been waiting for 15 months to move into it, nothing's happened to it at all. So it is an overgrown jungle. But over here, this is an area where I have started to trim it with the bush cutter, which was a very fun day, having never used a machine like that before. Yeah, I was a bit scared of it initially, a bit apprehensive of using it, but now it's my job, and actually I find it quite therapeutic. I'm not sure if you can see down here, there's some lines that have been set out, and this is where we are planning on doing our first beds. So they're 20 metres long. We're planning on doing no dig, although getting hold of some compost is actually quite difficult, so we're having to reconsider what we're doing there at the minute. The beds themselves are 1.2 metres wide, and we're going to do a living path in between each one, so with grass, so the sort of gaps in between each of the beds are the perfect size for running our lawnmower up and down, just to keep on top of that. So yeah, this is the area that we're going to start with, which we think is more than enough to get us going, with the view of eventually this entire acre all just being food, really. Food and veg, or fruit and veg. Flowers. Yeah, we want to maybe have bees at some point, and bees are obviously very important for pollinating all of the plants and stuff, so to help again with the food growth. So yeah, we'll be having plants as well. And then the gap on the right hand side there that we've trimmed outside of the lines but before the fence, that's where we're going to get a polytunnel. We're thinking we're in a bit of a mix whether we get a standard polytunnel or whether we get a polycarbonate tunnel. I'm not sure if you can hear the wind at the minute or see the wind at the minute, but this is before winter starts, and we're thinking that polycarbonate is probably going to be worth its weight in gold for a well worth the extra cost that it's going to be to buy. So yeah, we're just kind of deciding about that at the minute. I'm going to very briefly show you the three bay compost bins that the boys have made. There is a video coming up on that with more detail, But yeah, here's just a little view, and we've already filled this one. Oh, we've already filled this one, and this has already sunk down quite a lot as well, so we're feeling positive about that. Woo! Falling down a hole. So this is the back of the house. That little hut building that you can see there, that is where our well is, well, where the pump is for our well. We are well fed. We eat a lot, but our water in the house is well fed. There's a filter on it. We don't drink it. We go and collect water from the local fountain. And I think that's the old wash basin, which, let me tell you, I am not using. Over to the right of the house is our garage. And next to it is the dog kennel, which again, we're not using it as a dog kennel. We're using it at the minute to store wood for the cocina de leña, so the wood-fired kitchen, wood-fired stove. To the right of that is our swimming pool, which we've not used, we've not opened it. This has been covered up ever since we first came to have a look at the house. So it's nice and big, but probably absolutely filthy and needs a lot of work doing to it. And then this here is the field behind the house where, hi Adam, where all the trees are. Our plan for this eventually is to make it into a bit of an orchard. So some of these trees are just decorative and beautiful, but not really functional for a family that want to be sort of self-sufficient. So that's what the plan is. We think that one of these is an olive tree. It's got what we think are olives on it. They're tiny. I'm not sure when they're ready, but yeah, so we think that one's an olive tree. And then at the back, or in the middle here, there's a apple tree. And then at the back here, we have, directly in front of me is a plum tree. Again, very delicious plums. And to the left here is a horse chestnuts. Now, horse chestnuts in Spain are incredibly popular. And families fight and argue over horse chestnuts, and there's a fiesta for them, and people love them. We've not really found out yet what they do with them. I know you can make flour, and obviously you can cook them in the fire. We had some the other night actually that we cooked, and they were delicious. Not sure they're something that we'd fall out with our family over. And then at the back here we have another pear tree, which has got some very delicious pears. They're a different type. So the one at the front are conference pears. These are I call them dry pears. I'm not sure what they're called. And then these weird things here, these are an apple, but they look like conference pears. Is that going to focus? Can I make it focus? Yeah. So they look a bit like the colouring of a conference pear, and inside they look a bit like a conference pear, but they're super sour apples. And we asked the people that we bought the house from, what are they? And they were like, they're apples. And we said, well, are they for cooking or are they for just eating raw? And they were like, well, both. So clearly just normal apples. So this building here is what was the pig barn. We don't really have a use for it at the minute. We don't really go in there. We've used some wood that's in there, and we've used like a saw stand that was in there, but not really. We're not really sure what we're going to use it for at the minute. And we didn't know when we came to look at the house before, but there are actually grapevines on here. They're all gone over. They're all practically raisins now. But yeah, so we didn't really know. We didn't know that was going to be there. It was a nice surprise for us. It all needs a lot of TLC, a bit like all the trees, to be fair. They all need a lot of TLC. So we're going to have to do some research and learn how to look after them, really. But yeah, that's another project, another thing to learn, another thing to work out how to do. So now we're on the edge of our, I'm going to call it a forest. It's not a forest, it's just a woodland. But I like calling it a forest because it makes it sound massive. The woodland is 2 acres actually, and it's mostly oak trees. So apparently it was full of oak trees, and then 20 years ago they were all cut down to be sold for wood, and then they replanted them all again. So that's why they're all uniformly in lines. Some of them, again, like here, this patch here, we think these are all too close together. So we've got some coppicing to do and obviously more research to do to work out how to look after these better. But again, we're on with that. Just there, that's where you keep your wet wood when it's just been cut down. It goes in there to dry for the year, to dry out, and then we're going to move it down to the dog kennel near the house, ready in the following year once it's dry. Woo. So these are our beautiful woods. This is the other conker tree. This is the other horse chestnut tree, and you can tell that it's been windy because there's just horse chestnuts absolutely everywhere. But me, Ads and Zane have been down here a couple of times to fish out the big ones. So yeah, we've got a big bag full of them at the minute in the kitchen, drying out, ready to work out what we're going to do with them, really. Right, let's take you for a walk. There's a tree fell over just now that needs chopping up and getting in that shed down there to dry out, ready for the winter. Ready for next winter, not this winter. So this is the half of the woodland that's easy to get down to. And at the back there, this is all brambles. We've been down here, in between all of these trees was a lot of brambles, a lot of gorse bush. It was quite crazy in here, quite difficult to walk down here. And I've been around all of the trees with the brush cutter, and Adam has been down here with the ride-on lawn mower. And we've cleared the soil out to make it a lot easier to get through. And from where this tree is, this point here, this was all brambles, and the brambles were all up the trees, all in the trees. In fact, you can still see some bits hanging down from the trees, but I've slowly started clearing it out. It's not an easy job, at all, but it's really therapeutic actually. And it's really satisfying to be able to sort of free the trees up from kind of being strangled, to be honest, by the brambles. You can see here that this one needs a bit more TLC. And then here is the road on one of the corners. There's some more brambles there, more work to be done. It's just starting to rain. So I think Adam and the drone have probably disappeared in and left me to it. But you can see the floor there. That's how it was all in here. I've not got to this side yet. But it's work in progress. We'll take you through here. The dogs absolutely love it in here. They immediately settled in as soon as we moved here. It was like they just knew that they'd been living in the motorhome and visiting all of these different places, which they've loved. They've loved going to different beaches every day for 3 months when we were in Europe. But I don't know, it was just when they arrived here, it was just like the dogs knew that they were home, and they love it. Every morning when we let them out for the first time in the morning, they come and they encircle the entire place, have a little sniff to see what animals have been around, and they just go absolutely crazy. So yeah, the dogs love these woodlands as much as we do. Yeah, you see how overgrown this all is and how much more work we've got. And to be fair, once this has all been cleared, we'll be able to get some more trees down here to replace the ones that will be taken for firewood. And let me just do you this is where we've just come from, behind. And there's an Adam. There's a wild Adam in the woods heading towards us. Oh, it's really raining now. Really, really raining. I didn't quite appreciate exactly how much bush cutting I have left to do, and it would turn out that I have got absolutely shed loads of bush cutting left to do. It's a good job, I enjoy it. Right, I'm lost. Flowers. Ouch. So pretty. I do apologise if my camera works slightly terrible. I've never actually done anything like this before, and I'm quite well known at falling over. So, yeah. Sorry. He's chucking it down. Are you hiding? Adam's hiding under a tree. Did you have anything that you wanted to say about any of the work we want to do? Any of the things for the garden? Any of our plans?
No, it's top secret.
It's top secret. You'll have to follow us and find out what we do next. So now we're back down the side of the house, side of the garage, sorry, with the pool just there. I think we'll probably end up taking them swings down. I think our kids are probably a little bit too big for that now. But this is a lovely little area, again with mostly decorative trees. But yeah, a lovely little area sort of behind the garage in front of the house. That's the other side of the log store. Oh my god, it's really raining now. So there's another apple tree here. Red apples are all pretty much gone over now. And then just here we've got this tree, and we're not really sure what they are on it. They look like baby, like mini apples, but they're not mini apples because inside they've got like nut things in them. So if you've got any idea what these are, please let us know. This is the bench that we were recording our intro on, and yeah, the rain's going to stop play and I'm going in. Love you, bye.